Self-worth is not the same thing as confidence, and a lot of people use those two interchangeably, not understanding the key difference. While obviously if you have high self-worth, you most likely feel very confident most of the time, confidence has to be earned in order to be validated. And I say that because you have to have skill in a certain area in order to feel confident about it. The most confident person you know can start something new and not feel confident in that room, but that doesn't mean they don't have high self-worth. But self-worth, on the other hand, it has to be conditioned. Self-worth cannot be earned by achievements and status, whereas confidence can be. And a lot of us have been taught to base our self-worth on external things and circumstances, but that's not self-worth. What we're trying to find is confidence. That feeling, that high we get when other people validate us, that is not self-worth. And that's exactly why a lot of us are stuck chasing this high of achievement. There are billionaires in this world, capital B, billionaires, who are still depressed, sad, anxious, and fiending for this confidence that so many people have, but they lack. Let's put aside whether we feel like it's valid or not for these people to feel the way they feel. That's how they do feel. Okay, no amount of accomplishments or status can build your self-worth. Now, you clicked on this video because you're having a hard time basing your value on your accomplishments. And I just want to say, everyone struggles with this, okay? So I'm not coming from a place of judgment. Today's episode is an open conversation about why we do this. And I'm also going to give you some practical strategies on how to build your self-worth, because again, those internal struggles we have are really, really hard to overcompensate for, because we have to unlearn a lot of things in that process. Welcome, this is the Improvement for Imbeciles podcast. I'm your podcast host, Natalie Etched, and this is where I share ways I'm getting my shit together so that you can get your shit together. We're just gonna get right into things today. Let's just go a little bit deeper. Again, you can subscribe if you want, but I just want this to be more of an open space today, if that makes sense. A lack of self-worth can cause you to constantly second guess yourself. And you might also have certain vices that you go to in order to kind of get rid of this anxiety. In my personal experience, I'm an anxious wreck sometimes. And the only way I was really taught to cope with this anxiety and stress I was dealing with was to numb it out. And so I would vape or I would escape my problems in some way, shape, or form. And that brings me into the sponsor of today's video. This is not a vape, it is a fume. And it is a flavored air device that is made to draw in flavors to the mouth and fill the void ditching a bad habit can leave. It has no nicotines, no toxins, no batteries. It's simply flavored air. We all have bad habits that can act as kind of an emotional band-aid to the things that we go through, and I feel like a lot of times we get stuck on our habits and it kind of acts as a crutch from all of the different things we go through in life. Mine was the kind I would feel fine without until I was out with my friends and they all had their bad habit devices, and I got that urge to ask, hey, can I hit it? Science actually shows that stopping a bad habit cold turkey can cause a lot of mental distress. Fume calms the nervous system with fidgeting features, as well as replacing that hand-to-mouth fixation, effectively distracting you from a bad habit with delicious flavors. My favorite is a classic crisp mint, but I gotta say my second favorite is sparkling grapefruit if you like more of a sweeter vibe. I don't know about you guys, but I'm such a big fidgeter. I will literally fidget with this thing all of the time. Not to mention it comes with a cool table magnet. Like, look, you can spin it on your desk if you're getting work done or you're just really, really anxious during a phone meeting. Not to mention the sound aspect of it. Sounds exactly like your bad habit. This holiday season, give the gift of a better habit at tryfume.com/etched. You can get a free fume topper if you order a journey pack. You can also scan the QR code on the screen. I will say, if you want to try multiple different flavors, the journey pack gives you the best bang for your buck. And if you're lucky, you can even win one of Fume's gold-plated devices this holiday season. So be sure to go click the link in my description or go tryfume.com/etched. Use code etched. Thank you so much, Fume, for sponsoring today's video. And let's just get straight into it. Let me be clear, your accomplishments in life are all valid reasons to why you should feel worthy. Like, you did that, right? Like all of your accomplishments, those are not to be downplayed. However, we do. And that's because we have a tendency to downplay our accomplishments and highlight our failures. This is biological, okay? We have a negativity bias. We can't truly detach ourselves from basing our value on our accomplishments because we don't weigh the two equally. And just to be completely transparent with you guys, I'm still in the process of rebuilding my own self-worth because I've been through so much during my childhood, during my adolescence. Like, I've been through a lot. And I feel like when we continue to live our lives as if everything's normal, it can be easy to forget about all of the things we've been conditioned. We're stuck in a program. And a lot of people disagree with why I call my podcast Improvement for Imbeciles. For those who are kind of new here, I am the imbecile. Okay, that's why I say it's where I share ways I'm getting my shit together so that you can get your shit together, because like I'm not telling you guys what to do. Stick with me because this relates to the topic. When I first started my podcast, I was dealing with extreme imposter syndrome. I had this false belief that in order for my story to be valid, I had to be in a place to give advice. And in all honesty, I can only share my own experiences, right? I can only shed light on the things that I'm going through. And me and my friends in high school had this thing where we would call each other like imbecile. Like if one of us like went back to our cheating ex, we'd be like, oh my God, you're such an imbecile. And to clarify, this wasn't in a degrading way. It was more so in an endearing way. Like my friends would be there for me through anything, but they would let me know if my actions were contradictory or a little bit imbecile or stupid. That's not a word, but you get what I mean. Essentially, they would let me know if what I was doing wasn't in my best interest. And I felt like that was the purest form of friendship, honestly, because in my own experience, that helped me grow. Having friends there for me who would call me out on my BS, but also be able to be there for me at the end of the day. And so I wanted a space where you guys could feel the same exact way, could feel that friendship from me, where I'm gonna tell you guys hard truths sometimes, but I do so out of love. I do so because I'm your friend and I've fucking been there. Sorry to curse, but like I've been there before. I've taken actions out of lack of self-worth, whether that was going back to my cheating ex or questioning myself and not doing the things that I know I should do because I feel like I'm self-sabotaging. I refuse to sugarcoat things because I had more of a rough childhood myself and I had to face a lot of hard truths really young, which made me grow up fast. So it all goes back to our childhood. This need to be gratified through our achievements. Maybe your family wanted to give you the life that they never had, so they put a tremendous amount of pressure on you to succeed. Or maybe your parents weren't the best influence on you, so you put a lot of pressure on yourself to succeed. Whatever happened, there's a part of you that you never really validated, that you don't really see because you never allowed her or him to be seen. Whatever happened, there's a part of you that you refuse to validate. And today, I want you to validate that part of yourself. Okay? Because in reality, you will never let go of this need to be gratified through your achievements until you see the part of you that was neglected when you failed. You will never be able to heal that part of yourself until you look at the root of where it came from. I can sit here and tell you all the powerful quotes that make you feel really good, that make you feel really confident, but is that really going to fix the issue? It's not. Your self-worth cannot be fixed tomorrow. Right? It can't be fixed from achieving what you think you want. It can only be fixed through looking at yourself, through true transformation. Now, you already know this belief is sabotaging your success, right? But what is the reason it's sabotaging your success? I'm gonna explain it. The second that you don't get what you want, you ask God, the universe, whatever you believe in, why am I not getting this thing? Why am I not good enough? Even though you might not consciously admit it to yourself, you constantly blame yourself due to your perfectionism. And your perfectionism is making you discredit your accomplishments, okay? There are people in this world who will constantly blame others. If you're on this channel, I doubt that's you, okay? You probably take accountability more so, right? Like you take accountability for things that aren't even your fault because you were never taught to give yourself an out, right? You always had to find a way. You always had to figure out what you were doing wrong in order to get to that next level. And I really want to talk about that because it's turned into toxic productivity, right? That's That's the reason that you're pushing yourself to this most extreme extent and trying to get all of these different things done, neglecting yourself in the process. That's why you're doing it. Because if you're not gonna do it, who is? And that's true. You're good on the productivity part of it. You're doing as much as you possibly can. And if you're not, when you're not, you usually reevaluate, okay, why am I not getting to this place I'm supposed to be? You see posts online saying, you just have to be open to success. You know, that's the problem. You're not open to success. That's why it hasn't come yet. And so you're like, okay, well, how do I be open to success, right? Like I'm pushing, I'm working, and what's coming from it? And I know this might sound crazy, but the solution isn't to do more. It's to recognize what you're already doing as enough. Okay? The reason that you don't recognize it as enough is because you don't feel like you're enough in general. You try to overcompensate for it by achieving things, but you need to really sit on the fact that you are worthy just by existing. It's not that your desire doesn't want you, it's that your desire is also meant to transform you. When you're not getting something that you think you want, there's always an underlying reason, even if you don't see it yet. And I'm gonna talk about God for this next part because I believe in God, but replace whatever you believe in place of God. But when you keep saying to the universe or God, you know, why can't I have this thing? You know, why? You're in a lack mindset already. Whereas when you're whole just by being yourself, you're actually more attracted to your goal. Your goal does want you back. God will never open a door that you are going to walk right back out of because you don't feel like you're worthy of it. And that's what I need you to understand. You are enough, but you're not seeing the value of your work. And so the solution isn't to do more. It's to see the value in the work that you're currently doing. Something I had to ask myself recently is, am I disappointed that I didn't achieve it? Or am I disappointed that I'm not recognized for it? Are you disappointed that you didn't achieve what you wanted to achieve? Or did you just want to be recognized for it? Did you just want your ego gratified? Because again, a lot of us want recognition for our own selfish reasons. And that's why we seek after these achievements. It's because we're overcompensating for a lack of self-worth. We don't feel like we're worthy just by existing. But when you really sit and think about it, if you really believe that you're worthy, your actions would show that you're worthy. God already made you inherently worthy. And so what you need to understand is in order to get that success that you want, you also have to have a success mindset as well. You can't hyper-focus on your failures and weigh them more heavily than your successes. You need to weigh them equally. Due to our negativity bias, it's easy for us to hyper-focus on our failures, but that's everyone. Okay, everyone fails. And unless you learn from it and take what you can out of it, you will never be able to get over it. We grow up in a world that conditions us to base our self-worth on external forces, on our external achievements, how we present ourselves, if we're at a certain level in life. This creates a fragile ego that's always riding high highs and low lows. The reason why you can never keep this feeling of success is because it's not based on self-worth. It also requires knowing that we are in a constant cycle of death and rebirth. Who you used to be when you achieved a certain thing is not who you are now. You are on a new journey. And just because you're failing now doesn't mean that your past successes don't mean anything. To shift gears a little bit, the process of unlearning this harmful mindset starts with you. It starts with realizing the truth that nothing you do can take away your worth. Your worth is not something that can be earned, lost, achieved, bargained for, or measured. Right? A lot of us assume that like some people have high self-worth, some people have low self-worth, but we're all inherently worthy and we're all made in the eyes of God, right? Like we are all equal. Everything else comes from ego and we have free will and we choose what we do with that free will. And one's self-perception of their self-worth can determine their choices. There's definitely such thing as high self-worth and low self-worth, but that doesn't mean that your worth is more or less than someone else's. It requires a radical shift in everything you've been taught to believe. It requires you letting go of the idea that you are only worthy when you're achieving. If you failed and you gave it your all, that is not a failure. You did everything you could. And even in the moments where you didn't do everything you could, you tried your best with the information that you had available to you. And we can evaluate, I could do this better, I could do that better, but that shouldn't reflect on your worth. You're valuable whether you do or don't do anything. And so the reason you get so burnt out is because the only reason you do things is for that external validation. And that's a lot of pressure to put on someone, that if other people don't recognize you or you're not as successful as you want to be, that somehow you're not worthy. No. So building self-worth has to do with just doing things for your own sake, right? Letting go of that relationship for your own sake. Trusting yourself for your own sake. Learning new things for your own sake. And yes, you can want success, and you should want success. Like, anyone wants success. Like, it's okay to want earthly things, but when you detach yourself from it and detach your worth from it, it actually attracts success more. Success starts to want you. The opportunities start to find you, because rather than chasing, you start attracting. And I feel like everyone has been in moments in life where like things just fall into place, right? If you want more of that vibe of things just falling into place and things just working out in your favor, you need to have that inherent belief that things just work out in my favor. I'm just lucky. And that comes from redefining your self-concept and also focusing more on what you have rather than what you lack. Because even on social media, when people seem to attract things like that, you don't know what work really went into that. You also don't know how many highs and lows they have, or how many highs and lows they're about to have. Comparison is really the thief of joy. Detach yourself from what society thinks or what you should be doing at your age, or this, that, and the third, because honestly, none of that really matters. What matters is taking care of you. What matters is true self-care. And self-care isn't self-delusion. It's being real and raw and honest with yourself and going, why do I keep chasing after something that's going to let me down time after time after time? And again, replace what resonates for you. But I think that sometimes we want to control things that are just simply out of our control. And only thing we can control is, how we view ourselves, how nurturing we are to ourselves. What makes you feel good? Does doing things for external validation really get you what you want in the long term? Or does doing things for your own sake make you feel good in the long term? It might not give you instant gratification, but it'll give you motivation to keep going in times where it's uncertain. Unconditionally love yourself, no matter who comes into your life, no matter what you go through. When you seem to measure things unequally, where you're hyper-focusing on your failures and you're discounting your successes, bring up a success that really made you feel good. Even the day-to-day successes. If you hyper-focus on your failures, you're gonna attract more of that. One thing that's helped me is in times where something bad happens, not being toxically positive, but for example, I get a parking ticket or something. Thanking God that I have the money to pay that parking ticket. There's always a silver lining, and I know sometimes people hate the advice of, just be grateful, just be grateful. Sometimes we can't always have that optimistic attitude. However, the more you have that optimistic attitude and choose to redirect your thoughts to something positive, the easier it is in those times to feel better and almost rewrite those negative self-beliefs that you have of yourself. After every single failure you go through, how can I reframe this? What can I take away from this experience? And do this as many times as you truly need. Cling on to that one thing that makes you like, well, at least this is a silver lining to it. Don't neglect those negative thoughts, but explore them. And I'm not like a toxic positivity person. I believe that every single negative thought you have, you should explore somewhat. Right? Some negative thoughts you should push off because they're nonsense, but others you should explore and go, okay, where did this come from? When you can honor your achievements and your failures as just part of the human experience, you start feeling free because you release the pressure on yourself to always be perfect, because you're not perfect. You're a human. And as much as we want to be this successful person, we also have to be someone who goes through the storm in order to get the sunshine. And I know that's cheesy, but that's really how it is. And that's really what God laid on me today. So I really hope this resonated with a lot of you. The more you can trust in divine timing, the easier it'll be to build self-worth and understand that what you're going through is meant to teach you just a little nugget of self-worth. You're constantly building on these things, and it's either going to be something that destroys you or something that inevitably uplifts you. With that being said, besties, thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Improvement for Imbeciles podcast. And if you guys would like, go check out my Instagram Instagram for more lifestyle content. Big shout out to Fume for sponsoring today's video. Be sure to go check out fume.com/etched and buy a journey pack for a free Fume topper. Scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description. And with that being said, besties, I'll see you guys next week. Stay safe. I love you.